Shout out to YouTube tapping in. Shout out to Facebook. Look, y'all, we on multiple platforms today. We gonna dig in. I need to get back up in the saddle real quick, chop it up with y'all for a little bit. Um, really before I get my day started, because I ain't really did much today, y'all. Really been chilling, 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 chilling. So welcome, 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 welcome. If this is your first time on my live, put a one in the chat. If you've been on my live more than once, put a two in the chat. Just want to see who do we have on here. We gonna get this party started, you know. Gonna get this party started. Got a lot of day ones on here. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to my day one folks. I appreciate y'all always tapping in. What's up, Mike? What's up, Sam? How you feeling, family? It's been a minute. 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 If this your first time on here, look, y'all. I go by Zabo103. I'm the dude that get on these live platforms, and I really just try to provoke thought. That's basically it. I believe if you think, if you research, and you take action, you can win, y'all. And it's really that simple. Um, a lot of times when people get on my live, somebody say, "Well, what do you do?" A lot of times when people get on my live platform, they be curious about what do I do. I do a little bit of everything. Um, the best way for me to explain in a nutshell is I'm a landowner, part owner of America, literally. That's the best way I can explain it without even joking, right? Um, Also, people look for, obviously a lot of credentials when they jump on my live, right? They try to figure out, can I believe what this person's saying? Is this person really doing these things that he's talking about? Um, he's talking about a lot of big stuff. So is he really doing all these different things, or is he just talking? So I tend to get on live and I show a lot of the stuff that I do, just because I know people get on social media and just be talking. One of the things I will say is that, over the last few days, I have been showing one business on this platform just to show people that I'm not just talking. Um, and I don't know why though, but people get offended when you talk about money or you show any form of money for whatever reason. And by no stretch of the imagination, and by no means, I should say, I'm never trying to offend nobody, and I'm definitely not trying to flex about money or anything like that because it's not about money, y'all. If you've been on my live now for the last 129 weeks straight, you will have heard me say over a million times, it's never about money. This stuff is about wealth, and wealth ain't money, y'all. Wealth is time. It's about you being able to get your time back so you can spend it with the people that you say you care about or love the most. So if you back on my live again, for those people that was offended about me showing uh 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 the amount of money one of the businesses was making, again, it was just so that people can open their minds. That's it. Because you only can see as far as you've been. I know that to be real for me because, again, when I was at Bank of America for 20 years as an executive without a college degree, making a couple hundred grand a year, you would have never made me believe I can make a couple hundred grand in a month, let alone a couple hundred grand in a couple of days. It just wasn't a real thing. So I know that when I say things like that out loud, people are like, I don't know about that. That's not real. Then I show you that it is real, and then you say, you shouldn't be doing that. It's not about money. Damn if I do, damn if I don't, right? So at the end of the day, it's not my intent to do that in regards to try to uh, brag, because that's not what I'm doing. Not even close. And if I were gonna brag, it'd be about other things. Trust me. But I wanted to get on live today to kind of finish up the conversation that we've been having over the last few days because I think that you know, as I've been going through these live for the last 129 weeks, I know that people tend to get all motivated and ready to do these different things. But the reality is that they don't they don't get out of their own way when it comes to their fears that they have. I'm not doing any class. I am going to start my own platform. It's in the making right now, where you'll be able to obviously subscribe to that actual platform. Well, I'll be going through a lot of this stuff that I've talked about and more in detail. So, but it is one of those things where you have to figure out how to get out of your own way, and it's really just getting out of your head, psyching yourself out from um, um, believing that these things are outside of your reach, and that's a lot of people issues. They psych themselves out before they even get to going with whatever it is that they're trying to do. And one of the things that you have to understand, time is going to tick regardless if you make a move or not. If you don't make a move, time is still going to tick, and it ain't gonna stop for you or anybody else. And you got to be willing to jump out there. You got to be willing to step out on faith, like some people say. You got to be willing to buckle down and just go for whatever it is that you know. That's what this stuff is about. So what I'll do is on today, I want to talk again more about where we left off to try to get you somewhere prepared, because I can't prepare grown people. I only can share the information, and you have to prepare yourself, right? But to give you information on how you can change your mindset and give you other things that you probably should be thinking about, right? We talked about how money's not real. We talked about how money is only supposed to be used for public use and private use and not personal use. I think at nausea at this point, we've talked about that, right? If there's anybody in here that still don't understand that money is supposed to be used only for public and private use and not personal, if is anybody here that don't understand it right now, put a one in the chat, because I want to make sure before we move forward. If you do understand it, because we've talked about it a lot at this point, put a two in the chat. Okay, we got at least one person that don't understand it. We got a couple of others too. Okay, all right, cool. All right. In a nutshell, I guess the easiest way for me to explain it is that the money that you have, no matter what it is, you got to understand that the money's not yours. It's going back to the original sender, no matter how you look at it. Okay, I guess we're getting a lot of new people in. All right, so let's do this the opposite way. And my day one people, I'm gonna try to do this fast so we can kind of keep moving forward. But everybody that's new to the live right now, and you don't understand this concept that I'm speaking of, if you got some cash on you, pull out some cash. Let's just do the exercise real quick, and I'll help you connect the dots real quick. Put a one in the chat if you can pull out some cash right now. Even my day one people, if you got some cash in your hand, pull it out. Put a one in the chat for me. That way, as I'm going through this stuff, I have somebody to keep me honest, and people know I'm just not saying it just to say this stuff, right? So, all right, we got ones over there on TikTok. Shout out to that. Instagram, y'all got some over there. Facebook, YouTube, other platforms that are out there right now. If y'all got cash, put a one in the chat. Don't worry, I'm not going to send around a collection plate. You thought I was a fake page? Oh, okay. There are a lot of fake pages out there, but this is my only page. All right, so All right. So, all right, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. All right. Money is only supposed to be used for public and private use. You got the money in your hand. Okay. So let's go through the exercise. On the back of your money, you should see something at the top that says the United States of America. Put a 2 in the chat if you see the United States of America at the top of your money on the back. And this stuff is real simple, so hopefully it connects. I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible, right? So y'all see where it says the United States of America on the back of your money. We all see that. Nobody's, okay. That's not something earth-shattering, right? I don't know what be up with folks. They just pop in and just start spamming. Bless their heart. Block, removed. I don't know. I don't know what be going on with these folks. These people, there's a lot of trolls on TikTok today. Grown men, I don't get that, but whatever. But the United States of America on the back of your money, right? We all know that the United States of America is a business. I don't think I need to probably go more in depth than that. We know that the United States of America is a business. It's also a public business. Just so we all on the same page. Can't make that up if I wanted to. How do we know the United States is a business? Countries have kings, queens, prime ministers. Countries have those things. Businesses have presidents and vice presidents. It ain't really another way for me to make that more simpler than that. We know the United States of America is a business because it has a president and a vice president, just like your job. If it was a country, they would have kings and queens, boys and girls. Just so we all on the same page. Okay? Let's keep moving. Right below where the United States of America is on the back of your money, you should see something that says, "In God We Trust." Put a 3 in the chat if you see "In God We Trust" on the back of your money right below the United States of America. Put a 3 in the chat if you see that. This part I was told, I don't know if it's true, but it makes sense. I was told that "In God We Trust" is the name of the United States of America's trust. If that is true, we all know a trust is private. I don't think I need to explain that more than just that. So what does that mean for your money? If it's public, it goes in a business. If it's private, it goes in a trust. You get it? Hopefully that makes sense. Now, I understand that that could be a stretch for some folks. That could be something that's, Zabo, you just made that up. Sure. What I want you to do now is to put on your reading glasses. So you know I'm not making this up. Turn your money around to the front. There should be something in small print in either corner that says, "This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private." It don't say nothing about personal, and personal ain't private. I'm going to read it one more time. "This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private." Put a 5 in the chat if you see that on the front of your money. Just to keep me honest, because I don't want to be like I'm making this stuff up. It's been there this whole time that you done had money. You just ain't never paid attention to it. Money is supposed to be used for public use and private use. If it's public, it goes in a business. If it's private, it goes in a trust. Now, I know what most people are thinking, especially if you're new to my live. You're thinking to myself, but you do need money personally. And the only thing I'm saying to you is you have to unlearn what you have learned and relearn what you should be knowing. Because I can tell you flat out, everything that you have learned when it comes to money, I'm not going to say all of it's been BS, but 99% of it has been. All the things that we thought made all the sense in the world was because we went to school for this stuff. You got to unlearn that stuff, y'all. So for those people that think they need money personally for anything, Let's put in the chat, what do you use money personally for? And I'll explain to you the difference and give you real life examples on proving those differences. What do you use money personally for today? Anything. It doesn't matter. Food. I knew food's going to come up first. Food always come up first. Jeez Louise. Groceries. Be more specific. Need money for time. Okay. Bills. What kind of bills? Be more specific what you use your money for. I got food, I got bills, land, self-care. Okay, housing. Okay, that's cool. Kids. Okay, that's cool. Take that. College. Okay, I'll take that. Mortgages. Startup costs to what? Light bill, medical bill. What else? Rent, electric. What else? Cars, gas. Okay, I'll take that. Vacation, cell phones. What else? The reason why I keep saying what else, y'all ain't told me nothing that you use money personally for yet. And I know this is wild to think about it that way, but y'all still ain't told me anything that y'all use money for personally yet. Date night. Okay. Take that too. Investment. What else? Buying another chain. Okay. What else? Y'all still ain't told me what y'all use money personally for. Saving. Okay. Let me not keep y'all in suspense. Not really write-offs. Not at all. There's a difference. You don't have them in the write-off. Clothes. Kids' clothes. I like that. Insurance. What kind of insurance? Life insurance? Medical? Crypto? Generational wealth? Okay. Well, let me take you through this so you can understand it. Let me take you through this so you can understand it. Anytime I ask this question, the first thing that always comes up is food. Food, 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 food. Right? If you work a job right now where you work for somebody else right now today, appreciate your family, where you work for right now for somebody else, you work for somebody, put a 1 in the chat if you work for somebody right now. If you got a job and you work for somebody else other than yourself, put a 1 in the chat. Okay. People got jobs. People have things they have to do. Sometimes on your job, you mess around and get a cool manager. And your manager will let you do everything in the world. In fact, your manager will do some of these things with you because your manager cool like that. My manager cool as a fan, man. I've been at the job for like 8 years, man. He let me come back from break late, lunch. We go to bars. We do all type of stuff. Whatever, right? Manager's cool as a fan until corporate come down. When corporate come down the day before, your homeboy, aka your manager, have that conversation with you and say, "Hey, fam, corporate gonna be down here tomorrow, man. So we got to tighten up, family. You're gonna have to be on time. We ain't gonna be able to do all that extra stuff that we normally be doing, family, because I'm gonna have to write you up. You're gonna have to write me up. What do you mean you're gonna have to write me up? That don't make no sense. You trying to act all funny. Stop brown nosing for them folks, man. Keep it real. I am keeping it real while I keep my job, and you need to do the same. Right? What's up, Missy? Right? So what's going to happen at that point? The next day, corporate in the office, they walking around, your manager in there tap dancing, you over there mad. You mad as a mug because of what? Your manager acting different. And that ain't cool. He done switched up on you. Right? Watch this. Corporate realized that the morale is low. Right? They realize that morale is low. They talk to the management team and say, hey, we need to get this morale right. What's the first thing they gonna do? Buy y'all pizza, get y'all some wings, put some Pepsis on it, and then they're gonna expense it. Because food is public, boys and girls. I got 99 employees. 8 of those 99 employees is me, my wife, and all 6 of our kids. The one thing none of my employees ever have to worry about is buying lunch. We buy food for them every day because we can't afford for the morale go down. And then the business is expensive because food is public, boys and girls. Uh-oh. This is going to get wild. I'm at the crib right now, walking around in a 7,000 square foot home. This ain't my house. The roof over your head is private, so it goes in a trust. The roof over somebody else's head that you control is public, so it goes in a business. So what does that mean? This the trust house. So when them bills come in, they not my bills. They the trust bills. I hope y'all picking this stuff up. I can keep going. With your small business, for my small business owners that are in here right now, when you do your taxes, don't you write off the square footage of your office? You do, don't you? I'm in my office right now. I get to write off this square footage. Why? Because I'm conducting business. When I'm in my movie theater doing this thing that I'm doing right now here with y'all, I'm conducting business. When I'm at my bar live doing this thing that I'm doing right now, I'm conducting business. What square footage I get to write off, y'all? And y'all get on this live, y'all be looking for me to say, all right, this how much I'm gonna charge y'all to do this and do that. Y'all just wait for the shoe to drop. Y'all don't realize this is a use situation. Not the whole 7K. You can't write off your bedroom because that's personal. But it doesn't matter because it ain't my house. But y'all get on here for free information. I get on here to show y'all my pretty clothes and my pretty shoes. Why? Because Zabo 103 also one of my businesses. So even though I ain't getting paid on none of these platforms, business expense, business expense, business expense, I can keep going. But people don't hear that. It doesn't make logical sense to folks. And I will keep going. Almost a month ago now, the end of 2024, my business needed another vehicle. Now, we had a 2023 Cadillac Escalade, right? That was a business vehicle. The business said it was time for a new one. The business went out and got a 2025 Cadillac Escalade Sports Platinum, $152,000 cash, paid the whole thing off because it's a business vehicle. I ain't got no vehicle. The business do. Your vehicle is public, boys and girls. And being that it weighed over 6,000 pounds and used 100% for business, the IRS allowed us to write the whole thing off up under tax code 179. You're driving on a public road. You're not driving on a personal road. Tell me the last time you drove on a personal road. I'll wait. Go. What personal roads are you driving on? You're driving on a public road. If it's public, it goes into business, boys and girls. So what does that mean? When you put gas in that vehicle, business expense. When you do maintenance on that vehicle, business expense. I can keep going. But people don't hear that. It sounds too much like right. I don't know. Do the math. A lot of y'all saw me and my wife get right back from Indonesia. We about to take another business trip in a couple of weeks. We was out there in Indonesia for 2 weeks. Since Zabo 103 is also one of my businesses. We didn't go on vacation. It just happened to be around me and my wife's birthday. We was on location. We was over there doing what, boys and girls? I buy land. We were looking for land, boys and girls. We do all type of stuff. Think. So what happens when you take a business trip with your job? They pay for what? The flight, the car rental, the hotel, and the food. And if your content persona is a business within itself, guess what else we got to write off? All the pretty clothes, the pretty shoes, the jet skiing, the camera crew, the ATVing, the ride the elephants. I can keep going. People don't hear that. What about these measly kids? It's not write-offs, it's a business expense. Two different things. I'm gonna go a little bit further because y'all had some other stuff in there. Somebody said, man, they want them an old lady. They gotta spend that money for that old lady. That gotta be personal. Why not put her on your payroll and make her your secretary and take her everywhere you go? Sound like your old lady just became public. But you didn't hear that from me. What about these kids? Why your kids ain't your employees? Why your kids ain't your employee? What are we talking about? Well, kid college, that gotta be personal. Don't your job do tuition reimbursement? Don't your job do tuition reimbursement? So if you got a business, your business can't offer tuition reimbursement to its employees? I'm confused. Y'all witnessing this stuff every single day, but you're not paying attention. So you're trying to save on child support and alimony? I'm gonna give you a real life example. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all know who Country Wayne is. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all know who Country Wayne is. Shout out to Country Wayne. I like Country Wayne. He's super dope, y'all. I like him. Country Wayne got a lot of babies. He been married a couple of times. He had a lot of child support too in alimony. You know what he did? You know what he did? Hired all his baby mamas, hired his ex-wife, hired his kids. Sound like his child support just became public and a business expense. Sound like his alimony just became public and a business expense. These are things that y'all are witnessing in real time. But it is what it is. Would you believe when I was at Bank of America for 20 years as an executive without a college degree, would you believe I had multiple businesses going on when I was at the bank, y'all? And people knew I had multiple businesses going on. They would ask me all the time, why you ain't left the bank yet? And I would say, I can't lose these good benefits that Bank of America give me. Bank of America give me some amazing benefits. I can't lose them benefits. Meanwhile, it was coming out my check every pay period. Medical, dental, vision. I was paying for it. Would you believe that when you get your own business started up and you got more than 3 employees, you can go get group insurance? Who's paying for that group insurance for you? The business? Sound like your insurance just became public. It already ain't being taxed. When I was at Bank of America, they gave me a $50,000 life insurance policy that I ain't have to pay for. They were so nice to me. Bank of America was such a great company. If your job give you a free life insurance policy you ain't got to pay for, put a 2 in the check. I want to see something. Maybe I'm tripping because I know Bank of America was good. I thought I was special too. Oh, I wasn't special. Y'all jobs do that too. When I left Bank of America, they didn't cancel that policy. I know it's gonna lapse, but they didn't cancel that policy when I left. I called my insurance broker immediately because I had my own life insurance policy on myself, my wife, my kids. I asked my insurance broker, I said, hey, these beneficiary of these policy can't be me, can't be my wife, can't be my kid. We might not be as strong as we need to be when we get all that money in our hand. The beneficiary need to be the trust. Can you switch that over? And how long would that take you? He said, give me 2 minutes. 2 minutes? Yeah, give me 2 minutes. It'll take about 2 statements to show on your bill, but it'll be active as of right now. Wait, you don't need my wife's consent to switch this stuff over? You don't need my kids' consent that are of age to switch this stuff over? No, you the policy holder. You can do whatever you want to do with these accounts. Huh? So if I want to go and take that cash value off of any of these policies, I can do that? You sure could. Wait, I got employees. Can I give my employees life insurance policy that they ain't got to pay for? You absolutely can, as long as they consent originally. What? What about for my executives that work at my businesses? Can I put big old whole life insurance policies on them that the business pay for? Absolutely. Sound like your life insurance just became public too, and also a business expense. Y'all saw me and my beautiful wife at the Maxwell concert. Tyrese Gibson was sitting right behind us. We're not related. I was sitting in the front row and put my foot up, and it was on the stairs to the stage. I almost went on stage and snatched the microphone from Maxwell and started singing Pretty Wings. We also had a suite back there at State Farm Arena, conducting business. Sound like a business expense to me. Well, how can you do that? That doesn't make sense. Sound like that was a concert. Tell that to Bank of America because they used to send us the birthday bash in the suites. And also a business expense. Y'all saw me and my wife take 30 people to the Atlanta Falcons, watch the Commander game in the suite, all the food and all the drinks they want. We was in there conducting business, boys and girls. This is the reason why wealthy people don't worry about things like taxes. Taxes are wealthy people, friend. Wealthy people understand that money ain't real because they know the only purpose of money is to make money, boys and girls. Poor people believe the primary use of money is to pay bills. There's a difference. What's up, family? But people don't hear that stuff. People don't hear that. What did I miss? What did I miss that you use money personally for? I'm listening. I'm listening. That's what's wild, y'all. All the stuff that you have learned, you have to unlearn this garbage, y'all. You got to unlearn it. And it sucks because you will beat yourself over the head when you start to understand this stuff. Congratulations, TG3. When you start to understand this stuff, it's going to make you mad. I'm going to give you a real example. Somebody said saving money. I don't do well. I kind of do lives every day until my platform go up. Once my platform go up, I'll be on my platform more than the lives. But yeah. But somebody said saving money. I got a question. Why are you saving money? Why are you saving money? What's the point of saving money? I'm curious. And when you save money, where are you saving it at? You have to have money to spend before you get it back. But that doesn't correlate to saving. That correlates more to investing. Let me give you an example. When you save your money, where do you save your money at? A bank. Right? When you save your money, you put your money in the bank. Now, I know you're not going to put your money up on the mattress. I already understand that. But the problem is most people don't know that the bank is not a holding facility. Banks are lending institutions. Y'all do know this stuff, right? Why you think if you went to the bank and tried to get all your money out right now, they would give you a hard time with getting it out? And if it's over a certain amount, you're going to have to order it. Before your money even get there, it's already loaned out. That's why they never have it. If I'm just being completely honest. And that ain't the part that's scary, y'all. Let me give you a picture. You go to work today, you get money from a customer. You don't put that money in your pocket, right? You take that money and you put that money into the hands of your job. You give it to your job. You do that for 10 days. On that 10th day, your job is going to give you back a fraction of the money that you gave them in the form of a direct deposit. And you're going to be happy. You're going to be bragging about how much money you got in the bank. You don't know that you're in between blessings. A lot of y'all got paid today. Let me say that the right way. A lot of us got paid today. We all happy, but we happy for different reasons. You might go out and spend a little money to get you some good to eat, maybe some shrimp, some steak, some lobster, whatever. You might be about to go out. You might be out to go and get your hair done, your nails done, your hair cut, maybe go buy a fit because you're going out this weekend. Whatever it is, I don't freaking know. There are people out there just like me that understand the power of zero. Guess what we do on Fridays when y'all happy and get paid? We go to the bank and ask for your money, and the bank lend it to us. Guess what we do with your money? We buy soap, toilet paper, bottled water, forks, napkins, spoons, pigs, chickens, cows, goats, in bulk, and then turn right back around and sell it right back to you for 5 times what it's worth using your money. Man, you ain't selling me nothing. When you went to the grocery store yesterday and you were mad about the eggs that you had to buy because the price then went up, you don't know what landowner it came from. The clothes on your back, it might say Polo on your clothes, but it came from a landowner, boys and girls. The tires on your vehicle came from a landowner. Everything goes back to the land, including you. But people don't hear this. This is too much like right. So what do? Well, what I would advise you do is do what your kids do. Your kids will regurgitate everything you say, but your kids only going to do what they see you do. I'm going to say that one more time. Your kids will regurgitate everything that you say, but they only going to do what they see you do, period. Well, how does that help me? By doing what my kids do. When I started this journey almost 9 years ago, there were 2 people, or one group of people and a group of entities that I looked at to kind of map out all of this stuff because of the things that I wanted in my life. I wanted money, right? Because I didn't know no better then. So I wanted money. So I looked at the banks. Why? Because it ain't nobody on this planet that know more about money than the banks. Nobody. I don't care who you thinking about. It just is what it is. I also wanted to build this thing that's a new buzzword around social media. I wanted to build this thing called generational wealth. So I started looking at people that were wealthy, that has had wealth in their family for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And I stopped listening to what they were saying, because what I had to realize was what they were telling me how to be a customer. And no business owner is going to tell their customers how to do what they do, because it'll put themselves out of business. You're not even doing that. If you started a business right now today, you would not go out here and tell your customers how to do exactly what you do. So they don't need you no more. If you would, put a 1 in the chat. If you would go out and tell your customers exactly how to do what you're doing so they don't have to shop with you no more, put a 1 in the chat. I just want to see something. At some point, we got to use common sense, though, y'all. No one would do this. So if the bank is the business and we are the customers, why would they tell you any great advice when it comes to finances, building wealth, any of that stuff? It's not even logical. And again, I'm not college educated. I'm just using common sense. So I started looking at what the bank's doing, what the wealthy people do. And when I say wealthy, I'm not talking about these people y'all are talking about. Not even close. Let me prove what I mean. Name somebody that we all probably, I don't know, I ain't gonna say we all would know, because we probably don't know all the wealthy folks, but name somebody that's wealthy. Put them in the chat. I want to see. Who's wealthy? Tell me. Who do you believe is wealthy? LeBron James. Why LeBron always come out? Everybody love LeBron. Bill Gates. I like Bill Gates. Shout out to that. Elon Musk. Ty Lopez. Okay. Rick Ross. Oprah. Buffett. Michael Jordan. Rothschilds. What if I told y'all Les Brown? Shout out to Les Brown. I ain't heard that name in a minute. Shout out to that. BlackRock, Vanguard. Who's the wealthiest person alive right now? Who's the wealthiest person alive today? Right now, today? Tyler Perry? Elon Musk. They say Elon Musk is worth $441 billion. And he's the wealthiest person in the world. Somebody said the guy from Saudi. Worth 15 trillion. There's a guy there right now by the name of Nathaniel Phillips. He is an heir, right? Wealth been in his family for over 500 years. And that estate is worth over $500 trillion. I'm going to say that one more time. There's a young man out there right now. He's 53 years old by the name of Nathaniel Phillips. Wealth been in his family for over 500 years. And that estate is worth over $500 trillion. And his name don't come on nobody's list. Ever. Now he happens, his full name is Nathaniel Philip Rothschild. He became heir when Lord Jacob Rothschild left this planet, last year, February. R.I.P. to Lord Jacob. But think about for a second all these people y'all named. How is LeBron James wealthy and the person that write his check is not wealthy? I'm going to ask that question again. If we're calling LeBron James wealthy, the young lady that writes LeBron James' check, what is she? They're not the same thing, y'all. Y'all do this stuff, right? Y'all understand this stuff, right? It's impossible. If Elon Musk is worth $441 billion and LeBron James is worth $2 billion, they not the same when it comes to wealth the way y'all talking about it. If Nathaniel Philip Rothschild is worth $500 trillion, him and Elon Musk ain't the same either. There's no such thing as rich, y'all. There's no such thing as middle class. You either poor or you wealthy. And let me just explain something to you. Wealth is not money. Wealth is time. Wealthy people ain't got no money, y'all. They got time. Wealthy people trade their money for time. You don't believe me? The quickest way for you to get fired at your job today is for you to falsify your time sheets. I hope y'all just picked that up. Poor people trade their time for money. So if poor people trade their time for money, right now, LeBron James is not in the wealthy category because he's still trading his time for money. Y'all do understand this stuff, right? I hope y'all picking this stuff up. So when I started looking at these wealthy folks, super wealthy, not these people y'all talking about. Say Zuckerberg is second? No. There's a long list of people way before we get there. You got trillionaires out there right now that don't even show up on these lists. Why? What's on Google is what you put in Google, boys and girls. I hope y'all understand that. So when I was at the bank, I started looking at what the banks were doing, and I was blown away. I was straight up and down blown away. When I started looking at these wealthy people, it made me even more blown away. And then a light bulb went off. The banks and these super wealthy folks were doing two things exactly alike. And it was mind-blowing. When I realized that the banks was doing policies and properties, and these wealthy people were doing policies and properties, I couldn't believe this stuff. Now, when I heard this thing, policies and properties, I thought the same thing y'all thinking right now. I knew it. Get you some rental properties, get you some IUL life insurance policies and stuff, and you can become wealthy. Yeah, I guess, but that ain't what it is, y'all. I saw these companies having big old whole life insurance policies. That stuff was wild to me, y'all. I seen places like Bank of America owning massive amount of land. Bank of America buy land every minute. Just like every other bank, buy land all day, every day. The bank don't buy no land. What are you talking about, bro? I know wealthy people buy land. No, wealthy people got life insurance policies, but wealthy people don't buy land. I mean, banks don't buy land. Okay. Let me give you an example. If you own your home, put a 4 in the chat. We haven't used the number 4 yet. If you own your own home, put a 4 in the chat. Let me say it this way. If you're a home owner, put a 4 in the chat. I'll show you. Now, for all my people that put 4s in the chat, let me ask the question a different way. The home that you own, does it have a mortgage on it? If your home has a mortgage on it, you don't own it. Y'all do know this stuff, right? You're renting from the bank. The bank don't care nothing about your house. Y'all do know this stuff, right? The bank just don't own your house. The bank also owns your land. Or did I make that up too? People don't hear this stuff. Well, technically, you can say it's not yours until you pay it off. But as long as you have taxes on that land, it's still technically not yours still, right? No one really ever really owns the land for the most part. They just control it. Unless you go out and figure out how to own your own city like Miss E did, RIP to Miss E. Miss E owned the smallest city in America right outside of Nebraska, 134 acres of land. Such a beautiful thing. Y'all saw this other family, I want to say out there in Maine somewhere. They got their own city that they own too. They showed it during election day. It was 6 people that voted. If y'all saw that, put a 1 in the chat. Maybe I was the only person that caught it. But I said, ooh, they starting to show this stuff and ain't nobody gonna see it. Don't nobody know what's going on. These people own their own city, y'all. It was amazing for me to see that. I was blown away. Remember what I just said. You can't own your land until you own your own city. But I also said you always gonna have property taxes. So let me put this bug in your ear. There's a person or a family in your city right now who you pay your property taxes to. Do you know their name? There's a person or a family in your city that you pay your property taxes to right now today. Do you know their name? Think about what I'm saying. And there is a person guaranteed in every city. I don't care where it's at. Do you know their name? I don't pay property taxes to the city. I pay it to the county. I go to the tax assessor office and I pay my property taxes to the county. No, I ain't talking about the queen. See, you do go to the county and pay your taxes, right? But who gets the budget? The city? Who gets the budget? The city? Miss E, God rest her soul, she was paying property taxes to herself. Think about what I'm saying. And I can't make this stuff up. You only need 50 acres of land to own your own city in this country. Think about what I just said. as a person that owns 295 and a half acres of land, no loans at all, I'm working on owning my own city. But people don't hear this stuff. Miss E had 134 acres, y'all. But people ain't understanding this concept. They don't know because they don't know. Doesn't that doesn't make sense? I wish I had something over here where I can show you. But I know why it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because you don't know. And that's okay too. 50. I don't know what's up with people. It's interesting, y'all, when you talk about these different things, and then just kind of see, right? Yeah, it got to be together, family, and then kind of see how people react to the things that they know and don't know. I don't know why you're spamming the chat. It's just weird. People be weird on. Why does grown mods kick them out? I don't know why grown men be acting like that, man. Why grown men be acting like that? You get so jittery and want to get all excited for another grown man. What's wrong with people? What is wrong with folks, man? People just silly. Let me see if I can pull this up. I got people over there, so I can't do that. Listen, people. Listen to what I'm saying. You're not going out finding your own land, people. America's for sale. You can go out there right now and go buy you 50 acres of land right now today. Nothing stops you. Nothing. Man, you can't have no city with no 50 acres. You can have a city with 40 acres. They won't deem it a full city, but you can have 40 acres and have a city. Man, that ain't real, man. You don't know what you're talking about. Black Wall Street was a city of people. How many people on this live remember Black Wall Street? Put a 3 in the chat if you've heard of Black Wall Street before. If you heard of Black Wall Street before, put a 3 in the chat. Black Wall Street was 40 acres. Why y'all keep being pushed back on things that you just don't know? It was 40 acres. Well, you got to have a lot of money to go buy 40 acres. No, you don't. You ain't got to have a ton of money to go buy 40 acres. I don't know, man. You saying this stuff. Me and my wife, September of 2023, we went live on TikTok and bought 41 and a half acres of land, cash, live on TikTok. No loans. We bought 41 and a half acres of land live on TikTok in cash. I want you to think about what I'm saying. But people don't hear this stuff because they think they understand something that they just don't get. A little bit less than $3,800 per acre. We're about to build an 18,000 square foot home out there, or estate. Let me say it that way. So you're blessed to have that ability? Sure, right? But here's the scary part. And I like that you said it, and I appreciate that because you're right. but we all blessed. Y'all know this stuff, right? We all blessed. There's nothing that I'm doing. I'm not going to say everybody can do it because mentally everybody ain't ready for that. But if you're mentally ready for it, that's all you have to be. Y'all do know this stuff, right? None of this stuff is off the table. How many square foot? We're doing 18,000 square foot. The average home in America is 2,500 square foot. That 41 and a half acres land is over 1.8 million square foot. I can't make that up. I'm going to play a little bit short tail. Y'all give me a second. It just seemed like the right thing to do. Let me do this real. You'll never find. The way that I do, you'll never find. Blom, 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 blom. Someone to love you the way that I do. 18,000 square foot. Gibson Estate, January 2025. 18,000 square foot. Gibson Estate, January 2025. So you know I'm not making this up. We're going to keep going. That just seemed like the right thing to do. Let me just do this real quick. That's the first floor, boys and girls. That's just the main floor. Okay? Let's keep going. It just seemed like the right thing to do. This is going to be on the 41 and a half acres of land. Remember what I told y'all. The lot itself is approximately 1.8,362,87 square foot. Just so you know I'm not making this stuff up. Just so you know I'm not making this stuff up. Think about what I'm showing you. I'm showing you this stuff so you can understand. I'm just showing you so you can understand. That's it. Actually, it was a little bit more than that. The number came out to 220 when it was all said and done. Think about what I just said. But most people don't hear this stuff because your brain won't allow you to go there because you haven't experienced this stuff. Besides me and some millionaires, well, let's talk about it. Because I think that makes more sense, right? And I'm not going to talk about credit, right? Because credit for what I'm talking about is irrelevant. I'm not going to show this stuff again because I don't want to offend people, right? Because people, the one thing that I learned by being on doing these live for the last 29 weeks, and I believe it wholeheartedly, y'all. When you share information with people about things that you're doing, they think you bragging. When you don't share stuff, they think you gatekeeping. And it's why I'm with your family. I agree, but some people don't like that stuff, y'all. But what I want people to understand is none of this stuff is off the table for you. And no matter where you at in your life right now, if you woke up this morning, you went to work, you came home, you trying to spread this paycheck out for the next 2 weeks, you in the perfect position. And that's the part that I try to convey. And I'm telling you, and I can't stress this stuff enough. You're in the perfect position, y'all. It might not seem like it, but you're in the perfect position to do all this stuff. You just are. Let me give you an example. I know yesterday we got extreme yesterday. We didn't talk about how to do this process if you make 100 grand a year. We didn't talk about it if you make 50 grand a year. If you make 30 grand a year, 18,000 a year, 8,000 a year. Yesterday they got extreme on me and said, what if you made $1,200 a year? Come up with a scenario and walk us through how you would get there. We did it if you made $1,200 a year. Then somebody said, that's not the ground. What if you were homeless? Could you do it from when you were homeless? We did it from being homeless. You don't lack money, y'all. You lack information and taking action with the information that you get. None of this stuff is about money, y'all. Money is not real. And if you really did the math on the money that you think you have, you probably would lose your mind. If you really did the math on how much money you make a year, you would be upset. Guaranteed. You have people walking around here bragging, I make 6 figures a year. Congratulations, you broke. If you can count your money, you broke. It has nothing to do with any of that, though. That's what's wild about this stuff. If you make 100 grand a year, that's $11.41 an hour, and that's before taxes. I can't make that up if I wanted to. I'm gonna say it one more time slowly for the person in the back. If you make 100 grand a year, that's $11.41 an hour, and that's before taxes. It's really scary. No one is really broke because ain't nobody got no money. Yeah, I recorded it. I owe you money. Good luck. If I owe it to you, you ain't getting it. The money's always going to go back to the original sender. It's never yours. The money that's in your bank account right now, you're only holding it to give to somebody else. So why you holding on to this thing that you're just going to give it to somebody else? You just got to start making a decision on where you need to get your money to. Money is gold and silver right now. Hold on a second. I got to get this, y'all. YouTube, y'all probably going to hear this. I don't know how to mute y'all over there. Hello? Hey, how's it going? All right, I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking care of that for me. Um, hopefully, everything else will be good. So appreciate you again. All right, thank you. All right, bye bye. My bad, y'all. My one of the properties that we were doing, they had to rebury one of the actual water line that was going from the actual street to the house. So they were calling me, letting me know what was going on with that. So you say to make $100,000 a year before taxes, you have to make over $48 an hour. Um, think of it this way, y'all. There's 8,760 hours in a year. If you divide that by your salary, that's how much you make an hour. Now, I know you don't work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I understand that. But your light bill do. Your phone bill do. Your car payment do. The only thing that don't work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is you. That's nobody's fault. Where do you put your money? We're going to go there next. Don't worry. I got you. And I'm gonna give y'all some real examples on some things because I think the way I learn, right? When you have when people are telling me things, I need them to give me something that I can relate it to so I can connect the dots. So you're gonna find that when I'm telling y'all these different things, I'm gonna point to a situation that we all can remember so that you can understand what I'm saying and you can connect the dots. Okay? We're gonna go there. So let's start off with money in the bank, right? Because people are asking, where do you put your money at, right? So let me explain before we get to that point. When you walk into the bank, right, there's a sign on the front door. That sign says FDIC. If you've seen that sign before when you walk inside of the bank, whether it was at the teller's desk, the branch manager office, the personal bank office, or even on the door, if you've seen FDIC when you walk inside of a bank, put a 1 in the chat. I just want to make sure we all on the same page. And again, y'all, I worked at Bank of America for 20 years as an executive without a college degree. I understood what this stuff meant, but I couldn't connect the dots. I had no clue until I left the bank. So don't feel bad if you don't understand this stuff. It's okay. I was in banking for 20 years and I couldn't connect these dots. The minute I started thinking, Bank of America lost an employee. Okay? So don't feel bad. There's a lot of stuff to digest. Okay? We all know what that FDIC means. It means that they will insure up to $250,000 of your money, which means if I got $1 million in the bank and this bank go under for any reason, they're going to cut me a check for $250,000 and write me an IOU for the rest. Well, that will never happen. Ask those people out there at Silicon Valley Bank. There was a young lady that had $10 million in Silicon Valley Bank. She rushed to the bank when she heard that they were going under. They gave her $250,000 and wrote her an IOU for the rest. When she asked when would she get the rest of her money, they said, we don't know. Whenever the next bank buys out, you'll have access to your money. I can't make that up. You can go look up the articles. You said what happened? Tell it to the people at Silicon Valley Bank. SVB Bank went up under, I think, in 2022. That bank was for millionaires, tech people. Go look it up. It just is what it is. They gave her $250,000 because that's what the money was insured up to and wrote her an IOU for the rest. It just is what it is, y'all. Now, a lot of people don't understand that this stuff is real, right? You can go all the way back to 2006 when the bank started to fail. And y'all remember in 2008 when the thing started collapsing. Y'all remember this stuff, right? Don't act like this stuff ain't unheard of. I was at the bank when this stuff was happening. I remember they got that TARP money. And the one rule that they had on the money that they were lending to the banks is they must lend it out because they are a lending institution, not a holding facility, people. But nobody don't hear that. Let me keep going. So when you hear things like this or you research things like this and you see it for yourself, you should ask some simple questions. Why would I put my money in the bank if the bank don't put their money in the bank? I mean, that's the next logical question. What's up, the Bronx? Why would I put my money in the bank if the bank don't put their money in the bank? It doesn't make sense. I'm doing what they do. I'm not doing what they telling me. They treat me like a customer. I'm going to do what they do because there ain't nobody on this planet that know more about the banks than the banks, or about money than the banks. And why would I put my money in the bank and have it in all these different accounts and be feeling like I'm protected? Because I got this $250,000 spread out in all these accounts, and that's what it's insured to. That's going to save you, right? Wrong. Ask yourself a real question. Let's look at some reality. Who remember when Kanye West said JP Morgan Chase froze $75 million of his money in the bank? It actually went 75 million. It was 140 million. Put a 3 in the chat if you remember Kanye West saying JP Morgan Chase froze $75 million of his money. Make this make sense. He got debanked. But we ain't going to talk about that. Why would I put my money in the bank if the bank don't even put their money in the bank? The next right question is what? Why do the bank need to put insurance on my money? Why I need to take my money to the bank and put the insurance on my money? Why wouldn't I just go buy the insurance? Why wouldn't I just go get the insurance? So if the bank putting insurance on my money, I can't just go get the insurance. Did I miss something? It's definitely legal. Nothing's stopping you. But people don't hear that. So what would happen if you put your money into this big old whole life insurance policy and all your money's insured? Imagine you put your money into a big old whole life insurance policy and all your money insured. This stuff is wild to me, y'all. Not only that, when your money's sitting in the bank, you get 0.00001%. If I put my money into that big old whole life insurance policy, I'm getting compound interest daily, tax-free, that I can borrow against and pay myself back with interest. Have y'all ever wondered why there ain't no ads for life insurance policies, whole life insurance policies to be exact? The money ain't taxed. They can't make money off of it in the death of it or the living of it. You say it's a ripoff? I hear you. But when I looked at the banks, I understood what they were doing. When I looked at the wealthy people and I saw they had these big old whole life insurance policy, I understood. I couldn't listen to nobody that had wealth in their family for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. When I started looking at these families that had wealth in their family for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, and I seen what they were doing, I couldn't go against that. They got a track record. A lot of times, people just be in their feelings. Maybe because they had a bad experience, because maybe one of their loved ones had a policy and the policy wasn't right that they got. Maybe they got a term policy. They thought it was supposed to be something else and it expired. Maybe it was a whole life insurance policy and they checked the box and said they don't smoke. And they found out they were smoking. They are a for-profit company. This stuff was wild, y'all. And then when I saw that the banks were doing this and the wealthy people were doing this, I'm talking about people that they had wealth in their family for hundreds and hundreds of years. I said at the very least, I can't do nothing but try. I didn't try all this stuff everybody been talking about. That stuff ain't working. The next thing that I saw was how much land the banks were buying, y'all, every day. And I started looking at these wealthy people, looking at how much land they just was acquiring. It was crazy to me. Well, let's put it in reality. We just went through those fires out there in California. We still throwing up prayers for them, y'all. Everything burnt to the ground. The only thing that was left was the land. The only thing that was left was the land. Land is the only thing on this planet that only goes up in value and don't go up and down. Plus, you make money when you buy land, not when you sell it. I'm listening. But people don't hear that stuff because that ain't really logical sense, because it's not pretty. People can't see the forest from the trees. They can't understand this stuff. The couple out in California that could have saved the day own 60% of the water source. They own 60% of the water source in California. They could have saved the day. But since they didn't want to pay for that water source out there, guess what happened, boys and girls? That stuff burnt to the ground. It sucks. This stuff sucks. You know, the couple that own Fiji water. The couple that own Plum, you know, them pomegranate juices. They own 60% of the water source out there. But what they did tell you is this: they landowners. You can't own the water source without owning the land. It's a part of the deal. But people don't hear this stuff. What do I mean by you make money when you buy land, not when you sell it? Most people believe, right, that when you buy land, when you sell it, you make money. But whenever you make a sale on anything, if it's a profit that's coming, you're going to react in America right now, this thing called a tax. It's a taxable event. How do you make money when you buy land versus when you sell it? When you buy land, if you buy some land right now today, 5 years from now, it's guaranteed to be higher than what it was when you bought it 5 years ago, because it only goes up. Plus, right, you have all the things that you can make money off of with holding that land. Now, we all think of what when we talk about land? How am I make money on this? Man, I'm going to build me some rental properties, right? I'm going to rent these houses out, and I'm going to get paid. We don't think about everything else. Apartment complexes, we might think about that. Maybe some gas stations, some shopping centers. We think about that stuff, right? You don't understand how much people make off of having a solar panel farm. You have no clue on how much money people make to hunt. You have no idea how much people pay to go fishing. You're like leasing your land out to cell phone towers so y'all can stay connected. That's big business. Y'all don't understand this stuff. This stuff is wild, y'all. The timber company will pay you $4,000 an acre to come and cut your trees. Where do you think these private plane owners housing a plane on land in things called hangars? Well, you can't make money in a flood zone. Florida is a flood zone. Louisiana is a flood zone. California, to some degree, is a flood zone. Hawaii is a flood zone. Jamaica is a flood zone. Turks and Caicos is a flood zone. Do you have any idea how much money you make in a flood zone? I don't think people get it. Everything goes back to the land, including you. But people don't want to hear that. So as I was looking at these things and I saw that these two things were where they were putting their money, you know, the first thing that I thought about, becoming your own bank, in-house banking. That's what I thought about. I was so wrong. It had nothing to do with none of that, y'all. And it was scary. It was scary. How can land in a flood zone be good? Well, let me give you an example, right? I'm in Georgia, right? If you live in Atlanta, right? And y'all can, people that's from Georgia, y'all can help me with this, right? If you live in Atlanta and you wanted to go to a beach, even though we on the coast, if you live in Atlanta and you want to go to a beach, you have to ride 4 hours to get to a beach. That's ridiculous. How we on the coast and we got to make a 4-hour ride from the major city to get to some water, y'all? You know what happened? It's been some years now. It was this family that bought some land and it was straight up and down flood zone. This family got the bright idea to turn this flood zone into what you just call it, Atlanta Beach. So now it only take people 45 minutes from Atlanta to get to the beach. Uh-oh. They made a man-made beach. Well, that ain't gonna be pretty. Well, tell that to the people in Dubai. The only thing over in Dubai is deserts. They got beautiful water out there. Y'all better make it make sense. Y'all better make it make sense. This stuff is wild, y'all. And again, do you know how much money people pay to go fishing? You say it's not that nice to you because you've been there? Okay. Just, it's a matter of your opinion and my opinion. I think it's nice. I think it's beautiful. We don't have to agree on the same stuff. What you might think is nice, I might think is horrible. I'm not about to have that conversation because we're talking about something way more important. We're not going to debate about something silly about who we think is, what we think is best and worst. I'm talking about stuff that'll change your life. How do I know it'll change your life? It changed mine. This stuff I'm talking, okay, let me give you an example. Watch this. I just want to throw some out there. Maybe, just maybe, right? Watch this. How many people have worked a job, or heard of somebody, or know somebody that didn't work a job and retired? Put a 1 in the chat if you yourself have worked a job and retired, or you know somebody that didn't work the job and retire, or work their business and retire. Put a 1 in the chat if you heard that before. That's pretty amazing, right? How many people you know worked a job, worked their business, and they retired, and they retired their spouse? Y'all know, how many people y'all know like that? Now, I'm going to tell you, when I left Bank of America and I retired from the bank, I retired my wife first. I'm going to say this one more time. I retired my wife first, and then I retired. I was walking around like I was a big dog. You couldn't tell me nothing. I went from making my yearly salary to making my yearly salary in a month. I done retired my wife and I retired myself. You couldn't tell me nothing. Especially coming from where I come from. Now I know what you're thinking. Man, anybody can do that. If they focus and they make the right decisions, they can do that. But how many people do it? Not a lot of people do that, y'all. Zabo, now, come on, man. That's a little bit of a reach. There are a lot of people that do this, man. They are. But I didn't stop there, y'all. I retired 25 of my other family members. How many people you know that then did that? I'm listening. Right now, I'm providing for 72 different households in real life based off of this stuff I'm talking about. I don't care about what nobody's saying. I got a troll in here. You got to, oh, I appreciate you, Mud. Get the troll out. We ain't got time for that. People silly. People silly. People are silly. I appreciate the text. Appreciate the family. Dude, it always be the grown. I'm sorry, I'm over here talking to my muds. It always be the grown men. It always be the grown men trying to debate. Shut up, man. Put the headset back on before you get in trouble for being on your phone while you at your desk. You know y'all got a clean desk policy. You don't supposed to be on the internet while you at work. Somebody been and called your job and got you fired, man. Over here on here trolling. At least you should be listening. What be wrong with folks, man? How do you do this stuff? It's great that y'all hear me talking about all this stuff, but this don't help you, just me talking to you about this stuff. It don't. If you can't figure out how to make this stuff happen for yourself, who cares what I'm talking about? And I 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. I know some people are hurting. And I get it. And I'm not oblivious to it. But here's the real reality, y'all. The people that's really hurting, they're not vocal, y'all. They definitely ain't on social media telling people they hurting. They're not doing that. I've been through the time in my life where I was hurting, and I wasn't telling nobody this crap. I was sitting there struggling, trying to figure it out for years. The people that are so vocal about hurting, they speaking for somebody else that don't even freaking exist. Because if I turn around and ask these same people, hey, are you hurting? You know what they're going to say? Nah, man, I'm good. I'm living comfortably. You are. So who you speaking for? All the people that are hurting. Who those people? You in America, on a smartphone, on the internet. Imagine somebody on the internet saying that I am going through a hard time from the iPhone 16. The math ain't mathing, y'all. I'm going to check my food stamp balance from my Android. I got the new Samsung. The math ain't mathing, y'all. It's not. And I could be totally off, y'all. But let me say this and let me make myself very clear when I say this. Charity starts in the home, y'all. Charity starts in the home. Start looking out for your last name and stop fighting for everybody else's last name. You can't help nobody if you one of them. I had to make a complete sacrifice. and start showing unconditional love to the people that I say I care about and love the most. So I understood with me making this sacrifice, I couldn't be none of nobody else. Why? Because I wouldn't be able to help these people that I care about and love. But don't get it twisted. I'm working for my last name. I'm working for my last name, not my first. So if your last name, you're struggling and going through the motion and you can't figure it out, it sucks to be you. And I know that sounds harsh, but it's the only thing that I can tell you. Because when I was looking at these wealthy people and I was looking at these banks, that's what they did, y'all. And I said to myself, there's only two things on this planet, illegal or legal. If it's illegal, I'm not doing it because it's going to take me away from the people that I care about and love the most. If it's legal, there's nothing stopping me from doing it. So the people that ain't ready to get on board to do these things for your last name to impact your bloodline sucks for you. But for the people that are ready, do something about it. All this stuff is simple once you see it. So let's talk about how you do it. Let's come up with a scenario. I got a little time. I got about like 40 minutes. So I got enough time to go through this. Let's come up with a scenario. And once we come up with this scenario, I'm going to tell you what I would do. And just for the sake of argument, because I know we got a lot of new people in here, it don't matter what your scenario is. I'm just going to tell you what I would do. So how much money I need to make in a year? Y'all go ahead and let me know what I got going on. Somebody going to tell me I got some child support and credit bad. Y'all, whatever it is, it don't matter. Y'all tell me the scenario and I'm going to tell you what I do. I'm making $46,000 a year. That pretty look. That was the first thing that popped up. All right, I'm bringing home $46,000 a year. We ain't got to say nothing about no more money. Let's just go ahead and keep on moving. And keep telling what I need. So I bring home $46,000 a year. That's the number I use. That's the first number pop up. We gonna make that happen. You need $15K a week. I got 4 kids. Okay, I got 4 kids. So those 4 kids, do those 4 kids live with me or am I on child support? Or I'm not on child support, but they don't live with me. Or what is it? Y'all tell me. What else? They all live with me. Okay, cool. What else? Bring home $46,000 a year. I got 4 kids that live with me. I got debt. So I got bills. How much bills? We gonna get into that. But I got bills. Got it. 10 a month is definitely enough, family. That's more than enough. But I'm not retired because I'm still working. I'm bringing home $46,000 a year, even in 2025. I know y'all keep saying it's not enough. I'm gonna show you something. Got bad credit. I'm married. Okay, so my wife still lives with me and the kids. Okay, cool. 4 kids, a wife, bad credit. What else? What else? Come on. We got bills. We covered the bills. What else? No business education. Okay. We ain't got to say $300 a month to yourself. No savings. We can do that. We got to use a little common sense with this stuff. Can't really say fix it. Well, if you want to call, bring home $46,000 a year, fixed income. Okay. That's cool. Anything else I need to do before we just go? Got a lot of debt, 60K in debt. All right, bet. We'll take that. $46,000 is enough. Okay. I hate when people be doing that spam and stuff, man. See, I got warrants. Okay. Warrants for what? Phone about to die. Jeez Louise. Warrants for what? Oh, he said, just kidding. All right. Appreciate you, Kevin. I'm about to go there too. It's on YouTube right now, 100%. I'm a felon. Okay. So I don't have no warrants, but I'm a felon. Cool. What else? If I file bankruptcy, then I don't have the debt. So which one y'all want to do? Y'all want to say I got bankruptcy? I filed bankruptcy? We'll say I had the debt and I filed bankruptcy. I filed the Chapter 7. Cool. Not on child support. The 4 kids live with me with their mama. Forget the 4 credit score. Say I got a 350. What else? Anything else? Y'all starting to say some of the same thing. All right, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. So the scenario that y'all came up with me for today is I bring home $46,000 a year. I got 4 kids. I'm married, wife at the house. I got bad credit. I just filed bankruptcy, Chapter 7. So I wiped my credit clean because I filed bankruptcy, but I got that Chapter 7 on my credit. I'm a felon, right? I think that's, it is what it is. What else? What else did we say? I think that was it. I'm gonna explain to y'all what I would do. Now we're gonna give the kids some age just for the sake of argument. We'll say the youngest is 2 and the oldest is 10. Right? Okay. You homeless with a smartphone? Huh? You trolling. You gotta be. You trolling. You trolling. You trolling. You trolling. They trolling you. They trolling. What be going on with folks, man? Obama phone. And you gonna use your minutes to get on the internet? You stay with a friend? So you're not homeless if you stay with a friend. All right, we ain't gonna derail. We're gonna keep pushing. Oh boy. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, family, for that. 46,000 is what I bring home. I'm a felon, a husband, 4 kids, bad credit, filed bankruptcy, Chapter 7. Here's what I'm gonna do. The first thing that I'm gonna do, I am gonna go home, sit my kids down, and sit my wife down, and I'm going to have a long conversation with them. I might start to break out in tears because I'm probably going to get a little emotional, and I'm not an emotional person. As I'm talking to my kids and my wife, I'm going to explain to them that I know times have been hard. And I know it's been rough. So for me to have this conversation is going to tear me apart. But I want to let y'all know we've been struggling, and I don't think I need to tell y'all that because it's not no secret. But we're going to struggle a little bit longer. But the struggle that we're going to struggle with for a little bit longer is going to be intentional. But when we get out of this struggle in this time frame of this plan that I'm about to lay out to you all, we will never struggle ever again in our bloodline. I don't know what would be up with folks, man. Why people want people attention so bad? Bless their heart. Removed from room. So after I'm having this conversation with them, they're gonna be kind of nervous because they don't want to struggle no more. My older boy, gonna be like, Dad, we gotta figure something out. We can't keep going through this, Dad. I don't want to keep living like this. I'm gonna make a man out of you, boy. So the very first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my credit straight. I don't really have a choice. I filed that chapter 7. And it's on my credit. And that's the only thing on my credit. I haven't applied for anything else because it doesn't make sense. And I ain't got no money to apply for things because I'm in between blessings. I'm going to politely reach out to LexisNexis. 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 Put it in the chat. LexisNexis is a company that houses all your information. I mean, all of it. The very first person that picks up the phone at LexisNexis, I'm going to tell them to freeze my Clue report in my personal file, Clue, CLUE, and personal file. They're going to try to upsell me on some extra privacy. I can't afford it. No, thank you. I don't need that. They're then going to tell me in 3 days, they're going to send me out a PIN number. I'll be able to unfreeze and freeze my Clue report in my personal file at any time. I'm going to wait those 3 days. On day 3, when I get that PIN number, I'm going to reach out to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, and I'm going to start disputing. But what am I going to dispute? There's nothing on my credit but this chapter 7, right? The first thing I'm going to dispute is that's not my address. They got to get my address right. They can't have no inaccurate address on my credit. That's not my address. Remove it from my credit report. I didn't apply for none of these inquiries. You need to remove all those. That bankruptcy, I need y'all to validate that bankruptcy. Now, we know they're going to have 30 days to validate that bankruptcy. They're going to reach out to LexisNexis to validate it. Being that the Clue report and personal file is frozen, nothing coming back. But that's not going to stop the credit bureaus. The credit bureau is going to come back in 30 days and say that they verified this bankruptcy. I know they didn't. I'm going to pick up the phone and call the courts down there, the bankruptcy court, and ask them to verify my bankruptcy. They're going to say the only person that can verify your bankruptcy is you in person with a photo ID. So that means that the credit bureaus didn't reach out to them. I'm going to call the credit bureaus back and say, hey, y'all didn't validate this bankruptcy. I need y'all to validate this bankruptcy. And being that y'all didn't validate it, I'm going to take it to the next level. I'm going to reach out to a company called the CFPB. C is in Charlie, F is in Frank, P is in Paul, B is in boy. The CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, I'm going to go on their platform, their website, and I'm going to submit a complaint. They're going to have 15 days, the credit bureaus, going to have 15 days to show the CFPB proof that they verify my information. They ain't got no proof, y'all. And y'all know what happens when they don't show them no proof, right? It's coming off your credit. And it's free. CFPB is still around. You can go on their website right now. They still there. It's free. Guess who just got their bankruptcy removed? This guy. Think about what I just said. Hope y'all just caught it. I just told y'all how I got my bankruptcy removed. Hopefully you caught it. I ain't have no, if I got a student loan, your bankruptcy ain't gonna cover the student loan. We didn't add that to the equation. Don't throw monkey wrenches in. I'm telling the story. But if I did have a student loan, every administration that come into office does something like, I don't know, a student loan forgiveness program. Every administration that come into office does a student loan forgiveness plan. Now, I didn't go to college. How do I know it's real? My wife got a master's degree and she got over 6 figures removed off of her. Forgiven. I hope y'all just picked that up. Google. I still ain't touched that $46,000 yet. What's the next thing I'm gonna do? I'm gonna reach out and go sign up for NACA. NACA. I'm gonna sign up for the NACA program, boys and girls. NACA is a program that will assist you with getting a home. You know, you got to be willing to move into the property. You can't have no lates on your credit in the last 12 months, and you got to have a down payment. Now let's work that backwards. I ain't got no down payment, but I do qualify for the down payment assistance program. Check that box. You can't have no lates on your credit in the last 12 months. I just got the bankruptcy removed and ain't nothing on my credit. Check that box. And we got to be willing to move into the property. You know we willing to move into the property because they going to take your payments of your mortgage down to what they see you can afford every single month. Even if that means they got to give you a 0% interest rate. Uh-oh. This is going to get wild. I still ain't touched that 46K yet, y'all. Now it's time to get into this meat and potatoes. What you gonna do with this $46,000 that you bringing into the house, bro? I already talked to the wife and kids about what's about to happen. That $46,000 is gonna get broken up to 3 places. Basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy I can afford, and land. Watch this. This is gonna get wild. Out of that $46,000, I'm going to take $26,000, and that's going to go into basic living expenses. Not a penny more, not a penny less. I can't afford to do a lot. I might even have to go more extreme to that because $26,000 ain't going to cover my bills that I have. The only bill that I have right now is what? The little mortgage that I got. We done had this mortgage for years. If I'm bringing home $46,000 a year, I don't know, 5 times the amount, that's a $200,000 house max that I could afford to get approved for when I very first got this house. So I got a house that's $200,000. What's the payment on a $200,000 house? I don't know if I'm doing my math correctly. I got it when my interest rates were low. My mortgage ain't nothing but like $1,200 a month. $1,400, call it $1,500 with taxes. That's $18,000 a year. I hope y'all picking this stuff up. So with that $26,000 that I go into basic living expenses, $18,000 already gone. There's another $8,000 left. We're in a small little house. Utility bills ain't costing us a lot. We ain't got internet and all that other crazy crap. I mean, cable and all the other stuff. We just got regular internet bill and light bill, maybe a water bill, gas bill maybe. I'm not paying nobody to come and cut the grass. I got 4 boys. We out there cutting them grass. All right, we ain't doing all that. We doing all the maintenance around the house. Every month I'm spending basically out of the $1,500, I'm probably spending realistically about $2,000 a month. It ain't costing me no extra money. That's $24,000 a year. Extra $2,000 left out of that $26,000. I got to cover a little car insurance. The money that I'm getting every single month from the job, I got a piece of a car, but I'm not driving because I can't afford to put gas in there. It's been cheaper for me to catch the bus. Think about what I just said. I hope y'all picking this up. That 26 grand and went to basic living expenses. That left me with, boys and girls, $20,000. Guess what I'm doing with that money is only going to 2 other places. The biggest whole life insurance policy I can afford and land. 15 grand of that $20,000 is going into that big old whole life insurance policy. Why? Because your health is your wealth. The healthier you are, the bigger the life insurance policy you can get. I'm putting that 15 grand into that whole life insurance policy. It's going to begin compound interest daily, tax-free, that eventually I'm going to borrow against and pay myself back with interest. Uh-oh. I hope y'all picking this up. That's going to leave me with $5,000. What am I doing with that $5,000? I'm going to go buy me 1 acre of land. Man, you can't even buy a half an acre land for $5,000. I know. That's why I said I'm going to buy 1 acre. You're not buying land in a major city. You buy land 30 to 45 minutes outside of the major city. And that's going to be my plan for the next 10 years. Me and my family, my kids, my son is going to get old enough to start working and doing these different things. They're going to be working with their pops. They're not moving out. They're going to just be putting money back into the house. But my plan is going to be to do this for the next 10 years. And I'm going to do it. And that 10 years is going to fly by. Watch this. This is going to get crazy. If I do this for the next 10 years, in year 10, I will have 10 acres of land that I own. Notice I ain't said nothing about going to get no loan. Notice I ain't said nothing about using no credit. Notice I ain't said nothing about partnering with nobody, having no savings. None of that. I will own 10 acres of land. And before somebody say it out loud, man, the tax is going to kill you on that property. If you got an acre of land without a home on it, it's going to cost you in property taxes probably $50 or less a year. Can't make that up if I wanted to. It just is what it is. So in year 10, with me owning these 10 acres of land, guess what I'm going to do, boys and girls? I've been putting that 15 grand into this whole life insurance policy for the last 10 years. That's being in compound interest daily, tax-free. I easily got 200 grand over there that I can borrow against tax-free and pay myself back with interest. You said if I was serious, I wouldn't have on Gucci and a chain? Okay. People slow. You have to laugh at some of these people. You know, some of these people, realistically, if we're being honest, and this is a safe place, everybody welcome. Let me start off by saying that. But some of these people are idiots. Some of these people are idiots. Flat out idiots. And then they be wondering why they can't get out of their own way. You can't get out of your own way because you're supposed to be where you at. Good luck. Back to what I was saying. If you have a chunk of money, I wouldn't just throw a chunk of money into a whole life insurance policy, no. And the reason why I'm saying it is you don't want to have a taxable event. If you got a chunk of money to play with, you can go get you a big old whole life insurance policy. That chunk of money, if it's me, because I can't tell you what to do, I'm not a financial advisor, I would put my money into buying land. If I got a big chunk of money, I would buy me some land and do what I'm about to tell you next. So watch this. When I go borrow that $200,000, I wouldn't put a chunk of money into that whole life insurance policy. Make the payments. You're gonna benefit more on your compound interest by making the payments than just throwing a chunk in there. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't have it necessarily written down nowhere, but my platform that's actually going to come up soon, Zabo 103 TV, you'll be able to subscribe there and you will have the written format there. Hopefully that makes sense. But let me get back to this. When I borrowed that $200,000 from my whole life insurance policy, I'm going to take a 1 acre of my 10 acres of land that I own, and I'm going to build me a single family home. As a person that built 29 homes out of his own pocket cash, I know whatever the value of the home is, it normally take half of the amount to build a property. So if I take this 200 grand and I build a single family home with this 200,000, I got me a property minimally worth $400,000. I hope y'all caught that. I got me a property worth minimally 400 grand. I just paid cash for this property to have built. Y'all caught that, right? Watch this. This is going to get crazy. What do you think I'm going to do at this point? I'm going to rent it out. I'm going to rent this puppy out. Now, y'all tell me, because I could be off a little bit, and I know we all in different states. How much is the rent on a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, new construction home, 30 to 45 minutes outside of the major city? Y'all tell me, wherever y'all live at, it doesn't matter. How much is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, new construction home, 30 to 45 minutes outside of the major city? How much is the rent? Here in Georgia, you spending $3 grand, $2 grand in some states, $1,800 in some states, $1,500 in some states, some places, $1,300, $1,000 outside of the city. I don't know where you live at for that, but that's pretty cheap, family. Where you live at for $1,000 outside of the city? I don't know if they even make places like that no more, but we'll call it $1,000. But I did that wrong. You're not becoming a landlord today. You're not becoming a landlord for the next 10 years. How much you think the rent going to be on that 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, new construction home, 30 to 45 minutes outside of the major city 10 years from now? It ain't going to be $1,000 no more. It's easily going to be double. Easily. And I'm lowballing with that. Think about what I just said. You're not becoming a landlord to year 10. That's 10 years from today. So in 2035, that's when you'll become a landlord. This is going to get wild, y'all. So if in Georgia it's $3 grand now, you telling me it's going to be $6,000? Guess how much I'm charging for the rent? $5 grand a month. I'm going to be the cheap rent on the block. What you think I'm going to do after this, y'all? I was bringing home $46,000 a year. This $5 grand a month, now I'm getting 60 grand a year. What y'all think I'm going to do next, y'all? I'm going to go to the bank and put this property in debt. I'm going to go to the bank and put this property in debt. When I get to the bank going to say this property worth 400 grand. You an investor. You got to put down 20%. 20% of $400,000 is $80,000, boys and girls. Good thing I got it in equity. That means the bank going to give me a mortgage of $320,000. Who's getting that $320,000? You. Tax-free. That your tenant about to be paying back. Uh-oh. I put 200 in. I got 320 back. I got an extra $120,000 tax-free. Y'all don't see how my life just changed? Y'all don't see how my kids' life just changed? This ain't exciting to y'all? No? You need more? Okay. I'll take it a step further. How much is the mortgage on this $320,000 home? $2,500. You want to add taxes to it, call it $3 grand. You're just going to get a mortgage on the property. The mortgage is $3 grand. The tenant paying me $5 grand. That means out of that $5,000, the mortgage is going to get paid $3,000. It's going to leave $2,000 left over. That $2,000 that left over ain't taxed out the gate, boys and girls. Why? You got to get what's called a return of your capital first. You know, the $80,000 in equity that you put down on this property. Until you get that 80 grand back, that 2 grand ain't taxed. Now I got $320,000 in this hand and $2,000 in this hand. I can tell you the wife is happy. She thinks she about to go shopping. I'm like, not yet, baby. We ain't there yet. I'm still working this job. You said 5 months for rent is crazy? You think 5 grand a month for rent in 10 years is going to be crazy? If you think 5 grand a month for rent in 10 years is going to be crazy, you're probably going to be homeless. And if you haven't figured it out right now, in America, as of last year, it's against the law for you to be homeless. They haven't started enforcing it yet everywhere. They locking you up and giving you a fine. So if you can't wrap your brain around that 5 grand a month for rent for a brand new home, it's not a lot of money. Good luck. Good luck, family. Let me know how I go. We gonna get it out the mud. 320,000 in this hand. I got 2,000 in this hand left over. Y'all don't see how my life just changed? You still need more? All right, cool. Guess what I'm gonna do? Next. I got 9 more acres left. I'm only gonna do this 10 times. Wait, if I do this 10 times, I put my 200 grand in. I'm getting 320 back. That's an extra $120,000 times 10. If I carry the one, that's $1.2 million tax free. Tell me what job y'all got making this type of money. I'm listening. Tell me what business y'all got where y'all making $1.2 million tax free. I'm listening. I'm really trying to understand. And I did this from $46,000 a year, no saving, 5 bankruptcy, 4 kids, student loans. Somebody threw that in the equation after the fact. It didn't take me all this money that y'all talking about. Now me and my family sitting on $1.2 million. You only can imagine what I'm gonna do now. Some of the same stuff. You think I'm going back to work at this point? I'm not going back to work. I got a process now. I know what to do. Life gonna be different. And y'all got it for free. Y'all got it for free. And that ain't even the crazy part, y'all. There's more. Y'all remember that $2,000 that you were getting over here? Tax-free until you get that return on your capital? You also getting that 10 times. If you did the math on that real quick, that's an extra $20,000 a month on top of the $1.2 million. Tell me again what job y'all got making this type of money. Tell me what business y'all doing making this type of money. I'm listening, and I'm not telling y'all what I think. I just told y'all what I did. There's a difference. But people won't see that because they believe they got to have all this stuff. Money is not real and it's not yours. Let me ask you a question, Booth. You said if you can afford $5K of money in rent, you can afford a house, right? Watch this. Just watch. I'm just gonna ask you a question. How much do you pay for rent right now today, Booth? How much do you pay for rent right now today? How much do you pay for rent right now today? Put it in check, because 5 grand is ridiculous to you. Because you can afford 5K in rent, you can afford a house, right? How much do you pay in rent right now today? We're gonna wait on you, family. We're waiting on Booth to tell us how much you pay in rent right now. Come on, Ruth. Come on, Booth. Tell us. Everybody putting stuff in there for you. They trying to get you to hurry up, Booth. Go on and put in there how much you pay for rent, family. Ain't no disrespect. I just want to understand your thought process. How much do you pay for rent right now today? You don't want to share? I mean, you sharing all this other stuff. Come on now, share. Don't be shy now. You've been very vocal. So let's talk about it. You got the attention. How much do you pay in rent? Going once, going twice. Come on, Mud. Might as well give them a few more seconds. If they don't answer, we're going to get them up out of here. We ain't got time to be wasting. Shouldn't be that complicated. How much do you pay in rent today? As many as you have that they can show that you can afford. If you have tenants in there, typically you get 75% of the actual tenant more rent payments to show what you can afford. You said you just told me. You didn't tell me. Did anybody see in there how much Booth said he paying rent? Instead of saying you just told me, just put it back in there. He trolling. Okay, so you're not serious. All right, cool. All right, Muds. Go on and get him up out of here. Peace out, Booth. I wanted to keep you in here because it seemed like, oh, you pay $1,200 a month. Okay. So in your own case right now, you pay $1,200 a month in a mortgage right now, right? You said no rent. You got a mortgage. So you paying rent. You don't own your home. You're renting from the bank. But let's take that a step further. You said if somebody can afford to pay $5,000 a month, why would they do that, right? Because they can just get a mortgage instead of paying the rent. There are people on here right now that are on this live that pay $1,200 a month for their rent. You do know this stuff, right? We just saw it in the chat. There were people that said 30 minutes outside the city, they pay $1,000 a month for their rent. So your statement that you made, just because you wouldn't pay $5,000 a month for a rent, you will pay mortgage. There are a ton of people that will and that are doing it in real time. You do understand this stuff, right? I hope you get it. But if you're trying to be just confused, then I get it. But the reality of it is you paying rent right now. You're just calling it a mortgage. The only difference in between the two, what you're talking about and what I'm talking about, you just became the bank when you went and got your tenant, and then you got the money from the bank so the bank can become the bank and rent to this actual person. You're just controlling it. It's a difference. There are people in here right now that's already paying $4,000-$5,000 a month right now in rent. If you live in New York, people spending money. Okay, family. I think you missed the point. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on. You done made it far in life. You done made it far. You done made it real far in life, boy. You probably the sharpest marble in the bag in here, boy. Because I think you missed the whole point. What do you do when you can't find acreage, 1 acre of land for 30 to 45 minutes outside a major city? Have you reached out to a real estate agent or a real estate broker that specializes in land? If you haven't, reach out to a real estate agent or a broker and just tell them give you all the land that's 1 acre or more for $5,000 or less. Every piece of land in your state. Just tell them send me everything that they have. And then just weed through all the stuff that you get. But it's there. Guaranteed is there. And if it is none in your state, look at the state right next to your state. Look at the state right next to your state. But I'm almost certain, no matter what state you're in, it's there. 100%. So the last thing I would leave people with to try to make this make sense for folks, right, is this. You have to start thinking. There's no way you can get out of your situation without thinking. Probably not going to check out your song, family. But shout out to you anyway. I appreciate you, the courteous thing that you came in with today. That's cool. But I would just say that you gotta think, people. That's what this stuff ultimately begs back down to. You gotta just absolutely think. And when you start thinking, I promise you, your life will start to change. Let me give you some examples. What are some of the first things people say when they find out people got to trust? If a person say, hey, I got to trust, or you find out this person got to trust or that person got to trust, what is the first thing that people think? They got money, right? That's the first thing people think. And what people don't understand is, in most cases, if the person that has the trust, if they know better, they will understand they never have no money. Ever. It's an unreal situation. It don't even make logical sense. We have multiple trusts. Me and my wife, my kid, we got so many different trusts. It don't even make no sense, y'all. It don't. But y'all do know if you got money inside of a trust, it's just a checking account with the trust name on it. Y'all do know this stuff, right? Says really credit? Probably not. Y'all do know that, right? It's just a checking account with the trust name on it. What's the least amount of money you can have to open a trust? If you go to an attorney that specializes in trust or estate planning, depending on how complicated your trust is, anywhere from $1,500 to $5,000 is what it will cost you to set up your trust. And then when you go to the bank to set up your trust checking account, whatever the bare minimum that they want you to put in, it can be $100, $50. You can go to the bank, your bank that you have right now, and retitle your checking account right now to the trust name. Just so we all on the same page. Now, you ain't have to have no money to put in there. Why? Because at this point, you got $32 in there. It's already open. All the thing they're doing is retitling it to the trust name. The people that know better, they ain't got no money in the trust. Y'all do know this stuff, right? Watch this. You might have to ask one of the insurance brokers up in here. I don't know what's my attention. I'm not doing it. So let me say this. And I know people saying how you fund the trust. I'm gonna paint a picture for you. Right? Watch this. If you let me ask the question this way. How many of y'all know who Bill Gates is and Warren Buffett is? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all know who Bill Gates and Warren Buffett is. If y'all know who Bill Gates and Warren Buffett is, put a 1 in the chat. Okay, cool. Y'all know who that person is, so I ain't tripping, right? If y'all believe that Bill Gates and Warren Buffett has more than $13 million, put a 2 in the chat. If y'all believe that Bill Gates and Warren Buffett has more than $13 million, put a 2 in the chat. A lot of people believe that. Let me explain something. If you have over $12.92 million cash in your trust when you leave this planet, it's getting taxed at 40%. It looks like it's going to get lowered to $5 million and raised to 45%. I'm going to say that one more time. If you have over $12.92 million in your trust, when you leave this planet, it's getting taxed at 40%. This is the reason why Bill Gates and Warren Buffett both say the same thing. When they leave this planet, all their wealth going to a nonprofit organization. They don't want to get hit with that 40%. Now, don't be silly. It don't mean when they leave this planet, they money going to their own nonprofit organization. The IRS will hit them in the head from the grave if they still around. That don't mean that. They're not doing it. They're not that slow, y'all. People think that way. Wealthy people don't. Land in your trust when you leave this planet is not cash, so it's not taxed. Have you seen Warren Buffett's portfolio of land? Why do you think Bill Gates owned 275,000 acres of farmland? Your trust don't need no money, y'all. It never has. I know you hear all these people on social media saying your trust got to stay funded and it got to do this and do that. I get it. I understand it, but they're not paying attention. Well, how do you leave this thing called wealth? Wealth is not money, y'all, it's time. So let me explain. Have you ever been driving down the road, maybe your whole life, when you was able to start driving, even when you was a kid in a passenger side, just riding past this same big old piece of land and a whole bunch of land over there? They've been having that land over there forever. They ain't never did nothing with that land your whole life. Every now and then you might see some cows over there, but most of the time, nothing but the trees over there. Them people really got to have some money to have all that land and be able to just hold that land and not do nothing with it. If y'all seen that before, put a 5 in the chat. There's some places right around the corner from your crib right now. That land been sent over there your whole life. Ain't nobody did nothing with it. Then all of a sudden, they build something over there. They finally sold that land and they done built the gas station. They done built a subdivision. They got a shopping center over there. They finally decided to do something with that land, or they finally sold it. That ain't what happened, y'all. RIP to the person that passed away. I'm going to say that one more time. RIP to the person that passed away. Y'all missed it. And it's okay, because you were supposed to miss it. Let me explain. $10 million whole life insurance policy on myself. 10 on my wife. Multi-million-dollar policy on my kids. Multi-million-dollar policy on my grandkids. When I leave this planet, if I left right now on this live and left this planet, my wife ain't the beneficiary of this policy. My kids ain't the beneficiary. One of the trustees with clear instruction. That $10 million is going to go directly over to the trust. I just told y'all the trust don't need no money. When that $10 million get over to that trust, it's going to be split in half. $5 million is going to do something like build, I don't know, an apartment complex, small subdivision, maybe a solar panel farm, maybe some hunting land, maybe some pecan trees. We're going to call it an apartment complex for the sake of argument. So what's going to happen in this scenario, y'all? That $5 million is going to build a small apartment complex. The property management team that's already been assigned going to be put in place. The tenants are going to pay for the upkeep of their property. The property management team going to get paid. The rest of that money is going to come back to the trust. That money that's coming back to the trust ain't taxed until the trust get its $5 million back. It's called a return on your capital. So as that money coming back in, I just told y'all the trust don't need no money. Plus it got this other $5 million sitting over there. What we going to do with that other $5 million? Buy more land for my great grandkids who I ain't never going to meet? Well, is that money that come back in going to go to your wife? Nah, she got the same thing I got. She got land. She got businesses. She got life insurance policy. She got trust. She got the same thing I got. Well, who is going to go to? Your kids? They don't need no money either. They got the same thing I got. Land, businesses, life insurance policy, trust. They don't need no money. My grandson instantly becomes a trust fund baby. As soon as a grandchild is born, the biggest whole life insurance policy goes on that grandbaby, sponsored by the trust. Uh-oh, the biggest one the trust can afford. What happens after that? That's not gonna be enough money. That's gonna be more than enough money. What's gonna happen with all the extra money coming in? The grandbaby or trust fund, baby. I just told y'all. The grandbaby getting a stipend every single year. Come on, Zabo, some off. What does baby need with money? You just said their parents got money, which is my son, my daughters. You just said the grandma got money, the grandma's straight. What this baby gonna do with money? Buy more land for my great grandkids who ain't never gonna meet. What's gonna happen when my wife leave this planet? The same thing. What's gonna happen when my kids start to leave this planet? The same thing. What's gonna happen when my grandkids start to leave this planet? The same thing. I hope y'all pick this up. See, poor people think the primary use of money is to pay bills. Wealthy people understand the only purpose of money is to make money. I ain't got no bills, y'all. My wife ain't got no bills. My kids ain't got no bills. My grandkids ain't gonna have no bills. Why? I'm teaching them wealth. Wealthy people don't have bills, y'all. Why? Because they don't have no money. Money is only supposed to be used for public use and private use. If it's public, it goes in a business. If it's private, it goes in a trust. You get it? If your child is in a position where your child can't make those decisions and you don't have any other kids that could take over what they need to take over, you would need to have trusted advisor. Most times people use people from the banks, and they give when they do their trust, they give clear instructions, right? For the trusted advisor to go off of for when you leave the planet on how to do what they need to do with your kid while they're a kid. When they get grown, they'll still have those same instructions. If your kid have a kid, then that's when the next thing will start. Hopefully that makes sense. I only got one page, family. All the other people scamming you. I'm here in America. I don't have WhatsApp. Let me put that out loud. I ain't got number one page. More important than that, I don't trade time for money. And being that I don't trade time for money, I'm not going to DM you and ask you for no money. You know how much time it'll take for me to DM all my followers? I ain't doing it. I'm busy that day. Think, y'all. So I done gave a lot of information. I know this stuff can be overwhelming. And I want people to try to digest this. I got a couple of weeks, I'm thinking, before my own platform is up. I will be streaming live on my own platform, my own network, if that makes sense. It's going to be shows over there too that's going to be showing you and talking through all the stuff that I'm actually talking about and more. We got a lot of stuff coming, y'all. It's going to get crazy. It's going to get crazy. So I would just say, sit tight, stay tuned. And we're going to keep on just doing what we do, y'all. No, you don't really have a way to, I guess if you DM me, there's no way for me to really check it and help you because I don't do one-on-ones and stuff like that, family. The best thing I can advise you to do is for right now, while I'm going live on all these platforms, just tap in on the lives. And if you got a question while I'm on the live, I'll answer it. But when my platform pops up and my own network show up in a couple of weeks, that's why I'll be giving out all that information. So you have to go over there and subscribe to that. So hopefully it'll be helpful for y'all, because the thing is that I want people to understand is that, let me just answer that question first. I saw your question, family. I'm gonna answer your question. the thing is that people got to understand. None of us growing up learned none of this stuff. They don't teach you this stuff in college. Your jobs will never teach you this stuff. Most people will never start to understand these different things. They just won't. And that's me being just completely transparent as possible. I don't know another way to be. And I'm new to this stuff. So I'm not going to be talking about, it's been in my bloodline forever and I've been doing this forever. I done had wealth in my family now for about the last 5 years. It's not a long enough time for a proven track record. So there are a lot of things that I'm learning still on my journey. The only difference is I'm just probably just willing to share the information because that's what it really boils down to. So it becomes a little complicated sometimes when you get on a social media platform. And I'll share this story. My dad, who I got to know when I was 21 years old, his best friend is wealthy, and he don't look like me. And that joker, wealthy. And when I say wealthy, I'm not talking about how we were saying LeBron. I'm not talking about how we were saying Oprah. I'm talking about wealthy. This stuff ain't even like, I couldn't imagine these, like me bumping into someone that's like had wealth in their family, like dumb, like this is crazy. His wife owns 4 banks. I'm not saying she's the CEO. I said she owns 4 banks. Who's the owner of Bank of America? I wait. The shareholders. Brian Moynihan is just the CEO. I'm a shareholder at Bank of America and I don't own the bank. She owns 4 banks. I ain't never met nobody that owns the bank. If I'm being honest, I done met CEOs, but I ain't never met nobody that owned the bank. Have you met the owner of Vanguard? I can remember asking him what his net worth is. No, I said she owned the property. I said she owned the banks, 4 of them. I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying. Maybe you're not wrapping your head around it. And it's okay. I couldn't wrap my brain around it either. And I couldn't wrap my brain around what he told me when I asked him what his net worth was. You should never, as a grown man, ask another man how much money they make. Ever. That was the dumbest thing I could have asked him. Hey, what's your net worth? He was like, net worth? I don't know what my net worth is. I was blown away when he said, I don't know. What you mean you don't know what your net worth is? That don't even make sense. But it didn't make sense to me because I was slow. He said, I can't tell you what my net worth is, but I can tell you what's been in my family for 400 years. Him, his brother, and his sister, between the 3 of them, they own 500,000 acres of land. I want you to understand what I'm saying. This man invited me and my beautiful wife out to a meeting that he held about 2 years ago. And I went in there at the time. I had about 100 acres of land that I owned. There was 25 other landowners in there that the meeting was geared to. We sat in this meeting and they talked for 3 hours about livestock. I couldn't wrap my brain around what the hell they were talking about. We sat in that meeting for 3 hours and they were talking about livestock. These cats was in there talking about it making $500,000 a day. And that was one stream of income. I couldn't believe this stuff, y'all. You couldn't make me understand this stuff. I mean, cats that got 200,000 acres, 100,000 acres, 50,000. This stuff was like mind blowing to me. And these were people from different states. This stuff was crazy to me. I still have a hard time thinking about this stuff. because I never seen nothing like this before in my life. This man told me the stuff that you're doing at your age, and I was probably like 38, no 39 when he told me this. He said the stuff that you're doing at your age without having anybody to guide you or assist you with this stuff. I don't know how you coming up with, I don't know how you doing this stuff, and I don't know how you even figuring this stuff out. He was like, I was born into this stuff, and it's not a challenge, it's like second nature. But for this stuff to be second nature for you, and you wasn't born into this stuff, if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't be able to figure this stuff out. What I'm explaining to you is this. It's not about who you know. You think you need to be at all these networking events? You think you got to rub elbows and it's about all who you know and all this other stuff? You just got to sit back and think, y'all, and dream. The average person on this planet don't even use 5% of their brain. Do you know what happens when you start to use 1% of your brain power? They say when you get to a certain percentage, you can start to see the future. What I do know for a fact, the stuff that's common sense to me that I see today, it ain't common sense to everybody else. And I can't unsee this stuff. So what I'm explaining to you is, if you want to change your life, you got to get in your head and start dreaming and start thinking. Because when you start dreaming and start thinking, the next step after that is researching how to do this stuff. If you can dream it, you can research how to do it. And once you research how to do it, you just got to start taking the steps. Think, research, take action. It's the secret to everything you're trying to do. I can't make that up. I can't. It's hard for me to explain, but this is what I do know. When I was at Bank of America making a couple $100,000 a year, I always gonna bring it back to the money thing because that's how people relate, right? Brian Moynihan, the CEO of Bank of America, it was one of him. He made 8 figures a year. One of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. He used to be an attorney before he became the CEO of Bank of America. He made 8 figures a year. He got all type of letters behind his name. Here it is, an ignorant dude like me that barely got a high school diploma. Last year, we generated 8 figures. I ain't got no college degree. I want you to think about what I'm saying. You can't allow your education to stop your education. And just because you see other people doing these different things, nothing stops you from doing this stuff as long as it's legal. If it's legal, there's nothing stopping you. That's the truth. So hopefully you have been inspired. Hopefully I've done that portion of this dissertation that I gave today. I do have an ask for y'all. Make sure y'all follow me on all platforms. This live will be replayed on Instagram at Zabo103, the only verified Instagram over there. Zabian Gibson on Facebook, the only verified Zabian Gibson on Facebook. YouTube at Zabo103. You can watch the replay over there, right? But do me a favor. Before you go out and run through a brick wall trying to do any of this stuff that I'm talking about, go do the research. Go research what I'm talking about. I need people to stop believing everything that people say on social media. That includes me, y'all. Don't believe me. Go research what I just shared. All this stuff you heard me talk about, any part of this stuff that was exciting to you and you ready to run through that brick wall, Go do your research. I can have the best intentions on this planet, but I can be outdated with the information too. But go do your research, y'all. If you realize that what I said was BS, don't come back to my live telling me it's BS. I don't want to hear that shit. But if you realize it's legit, applied in your life, I promise you, your future self will thank you. In the meantime, look, y'all be good or have fun being bad. I'm going to see y'all on the other side of the sun. Peace.